Hello and welcome to Meteorological Fall Eve, Return to Hogwarts Eve, and Pumpkin Spice Dylan Knows. This is episode 569, Pumpkin Spice Dylan Knows. I'm your host, Dylan. We are on August 31st, Saturday at 11:12 p.m. So during this show, we will immediately hit September 1st, which is the beginning of meteorological fall. And yes, I know actual fall is not for 3 weeks, which is the 22nd of September, which would be in 3 Sundays from now. I know that, but I hate summer. I love fall. Fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. This is the best quarter of the year coming up. September, October, November, December is the best 4 months of the year, all in a row. You've got sporadic ones here and there during the previous 8 months, but these 4 months, September, not so much. September's good just because you're getting back on track and getting things started, but the coolness starts the last 3 months, October, November, December, for obvious reasons. The holidays, the weather changes, and that's perfect. Speaking of weather changes, what makes it even more exciting is that we are looking at 82 tomorrow, which is okay. 75 on Monday, 72 Tuesday, 74 Wednesday, 76 Thursday, 74 Friday, 74 Saturday, 72 Sunday, 76 next Monday. And lows in the 58, 52, 53, 55, 62, 60, 54, 55. So we're looking at gorgeous weather. Looks like the rain has dissipated. Looks like it had been raining for a while there. But you gotta love that. I love that. And as I mentioned before, this week was the first, was my son's birthday was on Sunday, the 25th, last Sunday. It was the first day of school. My wife and daughter are camping, and they'll be back because it's Labor Day weekend. We're off on Monday, so it's a 3-day weekend. So technically, this is Friday part 2 that's going on right now. We have Saturday part 2 tomorrow, and then Sunday on Monday, and then we're back to normal there. So we had that. We had Poplio Community Day and Pokemon Go today. And we have, I'm going to go to my sister-in-law's house on Sunday for Labor Day picnic. And then Labor Day itself, we'll be going to my mom's house to help her do some stuff and get a new desk for my son's room to put his brand new computer on. Talked about that last week. We got a brand new computer. And then the next week, this week upcoming, we've got football's back, baby. Football. NFL football opening night on Thursday, which is Sunday, Saturday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday, Monday to Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 days away. And this year's opening game is the Kansas City Chiefs versus my Baltimore Ravens. And this is Pepper. Pepper's season is coming up because he is a black kitty. So your season's coming up too, isn't it? You can get down. So we have football. We have college football started today. University of Maryland was the team that we all cheer for here for the most part in Maryland. We cheer for everybody in Maryland, but University of Maryland's our big one because we've actually won the big enchilada, the college championship. Maryland has won that way back at the beginning of this century. They destroyed UConn 50-7. We also look after the Naval Academy. They have a football team too. They've been doing pretty decent as well. They've been stinking the last couple of years, but they're looking like pretty good now. They won 49-21 against Bucknell. Towson University started off with a tough one against University of Cincinnati. They lost that one, but they played it good. It was like 40-21 or something like that. So they played them tough for a little bit. So that was good. They still scored at least 3 touchdowns against a University of Cincinnati team, so you can't fault them that. The Orioles are going through their typical stuff. They suck against the NL, and right now they're still in the playoff race, but they just look absolutely terrible, and we're starting to enter September. So hopefully with the opening up of the the roster, we'll be able to get some relief up here that help out and maybe help us, push forward and look better than we have since the All-Star break in July, we've basically been playing 500 baseball, which is terrible. And we can't beat NL teams. We win one game of a series and lose the next two. I think we just lost today. We won yesterday to the Rockies, and then we just lost today 7-5. So as expected, and then we're going to lose tomorrow as expected also. And then we come home. Luckily, we play the worst team in baseball, the White Sox, who have over 100 losses, the earliest any team has ever gotten to that in Major League Baseball history. So that's interesting. And then, so we have said NFL starts on Thursday with the Ravens versus the Chiefs. Then we have the first ever football game in Brazil with the Green Bay Packers taking on the Eagles on Friday. Then we have college football on Saturday, and the NFL proper starts on Sunday and Monday. Had my fantasy football league draft last week. I think I did okay with it. Next weekend, the Reisterstown Festival is going to be going on, parade that my kids will be in, fireworks, stuff, all kinds of fun stuff. So we got a lot of fun stuff coming up. And then in a couple weeks after that, the 15th of September will be my 11th year doing Dylan Knows. So that's impressive. I need to pitch my my list show. It hasn't been getting a lot of views. I've done 3 episodes of my list show, and they haven't been really well received. I'm still going to do them because I like to do them. But please, check them out. They're actually kind of cool. I like them. My conversation with myself will be returning soon, either this weekend or next weekend, to talk about the fall movie preview. I do have a couple of top 10 lists or lists I was going to do this week, but I just haven't found the motivation for it. So I still got a couple of days. We'll see. So we'll see what happens. But all that being said, everything seems to be doing okay. School seems to be doing okay. Labor Day is doing okay. So we also have the sequel to Beetlejuice called Beetlejuice coming out on Friday. And Fanta has a Beetlejuice apple flavored soda, spiced apple soda. It's called Haunted Apple. There's Michael Keaton's Beetlejuice on there. So let's test it out. This has been sitting in my refrigerator now for a few days. Ooh. I kind of like it. It's a very spicy apple flavor, like a cinnamon apple pie sort of flavor to it. It's different than Mountain Dew's apple soda, which was phenomenal, and they're never going to bring it back again. But this is really spiced apple. Definitely get the cinnamon in there. I'm getting the cinnamon back flavor right there, but the apple is there. It tastes like an apple pie. It really does. It's actually pretty good. Now, the cinnamon is a little spicy, so you get a little bit of a kick there at the end, which is actually kind of good for a Beetlejuice soda. It's actually kind of decent. I kind of like it. I can only find it in bottles and solo bottles. I'm able to find it anywhere else. But yes, definitely. If you like candy apple sort of flavor, cinnamon apple sort of flavor, this is absolutely perfect. It's the Fanta Haunted Apple Beetlejuice drink. Beetlejuice is coming out on Friday. Unfortunately, I can't take the day off. I have only 2 vacation days left, and I want to save it for a little later in the year. And but maybe I can convince my family to go see it with me on Saturday or Sunday. Okay, so pretty good. I actually like that. So very, very good. Speaking of Beetlejuice, co-star Justin Theroux, who is in Beetlejuice, is also a writer. And one of his most famous co-writing jobs was the Ben Stiller film Tropic Thunder. And doing the interviews this week for Beetlejuice, people have been asking him about Tropic Thunder and Robert Downey Jr., stuff like that. And he says that there's a possibility that Tropic Thunder 2 could be in the works, but at the same time, I'm just sort of like, do we really need to keep beating a dead horse? And that goes to a lot of the stuff that's coming up here. You're going to find out in this week's episode. There's a lot of stuff I'm just sort of like, do we really have to keep going back to the well on that? But apparently so. The one movie that is pissing off the convicted felon running for president, called The Apprentice has finally got a time to be released. It's going to be released on October 11th, which is when everything is being released in movie theaters. I think Sebastian Stan is either the convicted felon or is in the movie at some form or another. Let me see if I can. I'm pretty sure Sebastian Stan's in it. And it's been making sort of the film festival rounds. All right. Yeah, there. Yeah, he plays Donald Trump. Yep. The Apprentice is a 2024 biographical historical drama film directed by Ali Abbasi and written by Gabriel Sherman, starring Sebastian Stan as Donald Trump. The film examines Trump's career as a real estate businessman in New York in the 70s and 80s. Set during the early 80s of Trump's business career, the film focuses on the relationship of Trump and Roy Cohn, a New York City prosecutor known for working with Senator Joseph McCarthy during the Second Red Scare. The mentor-protege narrative documents the start of an American dynasty and discusses Trump's use of power, corruption, deception. Trump's decency is a road as he learns the dark arts of deal-making and tastes power. So Sebastian Stan, Jeremy Strong, Maria Bakalova, Martin Donovan are all in it. Barcliff Entertainment has acquired it and will be released in theaters on October 11th. So I gotta probably update my fall movie thing now. So Yippee! It looks shitty anyway because it's about a shitty person, but it's not a glowing version of it. It is a hard-hitting one. So that's in there now. I talked about college football starting. Tyler Huntley, former backup quarterback from the Ravens, he left to go to the Cleveland Browns during this offseason as a free agent to try to win a spot. He did not and was released by the Browns during final cutdowns. And guess who's picked him back up? The Baltimore Ravens. So Tyler Huntley is now currently on our practice squad. He is not the number 2 again. That goes to Jack Johnson or Jake Johnson, something like that. He is the official number 2. Huntley will be there as a potential number 3, but we also have a rookie on the practice squad also. So technically we are carrying 4 quarterbacks right now. We'll see how that works. Hopefully they won't need to be used. Hopefully Lamar has another strong season like he did last year. Keeping with football, 49ers first-round pick Ricky Pearsall was shot in the chest during a robbery today in San Francisco. He is in critical but stable condition. He walked to the hospital or something like that, so it must not be too bad, but he is presently in the hospital right now. We will see how this affects him and his chances. More than likely, he probably will not be seeing the field anytime soon. Till he heals, maybe not for he could be put on the PUP list, could return after 4 games, not until October. That would make a little bit more sense for the healing, but we'll see what happens with that. So that's going on. That's not good when stuff like that happens. And of course, the stupid new trend of turning animated classics into horror films continues with Screamboat trailer, which is the Steamboat Willie horror film that we've seen bits and pieces of, but now we saw the first trailer for, and it looks just as shitty as always. And then the Peter Pan something Neverland, Haunted Neverland, something like that. Also got a trailer, and this Peter Pan is really, really weird. Has a bit more vicious killer when it comes to stuff, and he's killing kids, claiming to take them to Neverland. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with all that. So whatever, terrible stuff. Chameleon discovered in Madagascar is now the world's smallest reptile. Anniversary. No, it's anniversary. Former Snark Alec, well, I mean, Snark Alec's never really broke up, but Snark Alec and friends of the show, Mike Belinsky and Kelly Toole, are at it again. They've created a video game, and they put it on an Atari 2600 cassette that you could play on the Atari 2600 called Slap something or other. And now they're taking it to the next level as Mike and Kelly are releasing a hot sauce based on that game. So good on them. They are friends of the show. I've worked with them numerous times, so I know them pretty well. Hung out with them at Snark Stocks, so I know them pretty good. Never forget, a few Christmases ago, when we were still doing Snarkyaholic Radio, Kelly and I were narrating a Christmas concert that Mike's group was Pagan was doing, and Tony Solo was there doing the I don't know, the backstage stuff to film it and to keep it streaming or whatever. And Kelly and I were just talking about it, and then they disappeared for a while. We didn't know what else to talk about, so we just sort of started shooting the breeze. That was crazy. I also remember when we did our Shark Week shows. Kelly and I did a show together doing that. Mike and I did a memorable breakdown of the movie Showgirls, which is on my Dylan Knows playlist. One of my favorite episodes I've ever done. So I've done some fun stuff, and congratulations to them. I've most recently worked with them on their Halloween story from last year. And a Christmas song they did the year before that. So hopefully they'll have maybe something else planned for this year. That'd be kind of fun. And they usually reach out to me, and I gladly do it anytime. So congratulations, fellas. Sorry I didn't get it. Slapdash, I think, is the name of the product here. Let me get it right so you don't. I think it's Slapdash. Might even have a picture of it. Yep. And the first batches of Mountain Dew's Voodoo have started to ship out. That'll be coming out soon. Supposedly September 9th is when it's supposed to be out, but I'm not sure if I agree with that 100%. Come on. I know you're here somewhere. Yep, here it is. Slapdash. Yep. It's called Slapdash hot sauce. Congratulations to Kelly and Mike on that. Dead Boy Detectives, part of the Sandman universe, has been canceled by Netflix after one season. Potentially, maybe we could use their characters for a future Sandman season. Season 2 should be coming up here probably next year early, because they've been working on it since almost last fall. So Yellowstone, which was set to end with season 5, Sheridan said, nope, we're going to do another season without Kevin Costner. So Yellowstone season 6 is officially in the works. So we'll be seeing that soon. Daniel Craig's next film is from A24. It is called Queer. Must be some about a gay person or whatever. So we'll see about that. Speaking of that, Wake Up Dead Man, the Knives Out 3 movie has finished production. So we should be seeing that probably next year as well. Sailor Bell Curden, Michael James Shaw, Lisa Gilroy, and John Truist have joined season 2 of... Shit, I forget. Season 2 of... Can't read my writing here. I come to least expect it. No, I talk about it's gotta go. It'll be past Slapdash. Of Twisted Metal, that's right. Of Twisted Metal. Okay, so Twisted Metal season 2. Okay, so actually it's Sailor Bell Curden, Michael James Shaw, and Lisa Gilroy joined Twisted Metal 2 is what I actually wrote there. Okay, One Tree Hill sequel series in the works at Netflix without Chad Michael Murray. That's one of those shows I was like, I don't think you need to have a sequel series for that. I don't know why you would anyway, but I guess it's still got fans out there. Contact and Alan Winter TV series, or Alan Woke Alan Wake TV series and movies are in the works. I guess they're video games, so I guess people who play them can be excited about that. Video games are now slowly becoming the new comic book movie. With every video game, we've already talked about Twisted Metal. There's been a lot of huge hits lately. Not so Borderlands didn't do so well. And then that show we just watched that's popular on Prime right now. Fallout. That did pretty popular as well. So we'll keep watching on that. John Wick's director Chaz Stahelski to develop Jonathan Mayberry's Joe Ledger novels into a TV series, sort of like what they're doing with Reacher. I'm guessing. I don't know anything about those books, so I guess that's good. Noah Wyle and John Wells are being sued by the estate of Michael Crichton because they believe that Wiley and Wells, who are developing a new show called The Pit, is basically doing an ER reboot. They basically said with Noah Wyle and John Wells involved, storyline taking place in a hospital and being similar to an ER sort of feel like the TV show was that Michael Crichton helped create. They believe that they changed it up to be something called The Pit, but and changed up the characters and stuff like that. But in essence, it's still ER, the same as ER as what it was, with the same probably directing and stuff going on and the character. So they're suing Noah Wyle, John Wells. I'm not sure if they have a case, because a lot of shows can have similar ideas to previous ones and not be considered breach of contract or whatever, because it's called The Pit. And yes, it might take place in a hospital ER, but do you know how many hospital shows there actually are? There's a ton of them. So we'll see if that comes to fruition. New Agatha All Along trailer focusing on Joe Locke's new character popped up this week. Still looks pretty good to me. Dolly Parton is turning her life story into a Broadway musical called Hello, I'm Dolly. Only a matter of time for that to happen, but that'll be good. Apartment 7A gets a trailer, which is a Rosemary's Baby prequel. Didn't watch it because I could care less about that, but for horror fans out there, there you go. Also, 6888, the World War II women's movie. I think it's World War II women's movie. It finally got a trailer as well. That should be really, really good from what I've heard. Venomous sea worms are washing up on Texas shores. So just watch out for that. It's like 2020 all over again, man. Luckily, there is no pandemic out there. Carol Kane and Jason Schwartzman are starring in a movie called Between the goddamn, can't read my writing. I'll say truth, I guess. They said they're having a blast working with each other, so that's good on that. First look at Jurassic World Rebirth, which is the name of the new Jurassic World movie coming out next year. And we get our first look at Scarlett Johansson's character in it as well. Gabriel Luna, James Badge Dale, Michael Anguaro, Chris Sullivan, Marin Intel join Devil in Disguise, the John Wayne Gacy Peacock series. They are joining Michael Chernez, who is playing Gacy. So, yep. We also get the one-to-one John and Yoko trailer, a new documentary about John and Yoko's relationship. I can't read my handwriting. Oh, Mr. McMahon docu-series coming to Netflix on 9/25. Netflix does a really good job with their docu-series, and so we're going to get one about the McMahons who run the WWE and WWF and stuff like that. The Baltimore Comic-Con is set to come out the weekend that fall arrives, the 20th, the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of, I'm sorry, 20th, 21st, and 22nd of September. The Baltimore Comic Con will be taking place at the Baltimore Convention Center downtown. They've already got a ton of comic book writers and artists, same ones who always show up every year, who are big wigs and working on big projects now and are hugely popular now. So the Baltimore Comic Con is still considered a comic book convention because its focus is probably 85% on comic book stuff. And that's why the comic creators keep coming back every year. The guy who runs it, Mark, runs Cards, Comics, and Collectibles, which is my comic shop, which is up the street there. I've been going to the comic store lately. Went today, actually. Picked up some stuff, so it was good. My guy Chuck is running the place there, too, as manager, I'm assuming. They will be they have all their comic book writers and artists and talent and stuff like that are set. So now they do some media stuff to get mix it up a little bit. They don't go all out crazy San Diego, New York Comic-Con style, but they do get some people in there. And they've had, some people they've had before. They had Will Wheaton, they've had Linda Carter, they've had Stan Lee, George Lucas, I think, was there once. So they get some people here. Sean Astin was here also a couple years ago. This year we have a couple of flashes. We have Sam J. Jones from the classic 1980s Flash Gordon movie. And we have John Wesley Shipp, who played the original Flash in the early 1990s TV series. Only lasted one season, but got new life joining the new Flash series. I think played Barry Allen's dad and end up also playing a version of the Flash and from an alternate dimension, the old school Flash from the 1940s. They will both be at Baltimore Comic-Con this year in a few weeks now. Barry Keoghan is set to join the Peaky Blinders film. Killer Heat, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Shailene Whalen, and Ralph Madden, something like that. Got their first look at that. That's set to come out on, looks like the 24th of September. First looked at the practical effect thing from the Fantastic Four movie. It actually looks pretty decent. It looks comic book related. And it does not look to be CGI. It looks like it is a practical effects. That's pretty cool. I got to give them credit for that. This week, Pokemon Go released a lot of information, which I'll get to a little later. But the big thing that popped out to me is in November, the weekend before Thanksgiving, they will be doing another major Pokemon Go event called the Wild Area, since they are going to be doing a Galar season starting September 3rd. The Wild Area made its first appearance in Galar. They're going to bring that to Pokemon Go somehow during a big event November 23rd and 24th, which is the weekend before Thanksgiving this year. I think. No, it is. It's just I'm not sure the date. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. And 'tis the season. Snow in Montana, snow in California this week. Of course, it's the higher elevations, but they both got snow this week. So I don't know what that's signifying anything. Probably nothing, but that might be something to keep an eye on. Anniversaries this week. Pluto was demoted from a planet to a dwarf planet 18 years ago this week. REM's album Document, which is actually a pretty decent album, was released 37 years ago this week. Napoleon Dynamite debuted 20 years ago this week. Skynet becomes self-aware on August 29th, 1997, according to Terminator movies. Obviously didn't happen, but still it's kind of neat that they have a specific date in mind. Twin Peaks Fire Walk With Me debuted 32 years ago this week. And a death we had this week, Johnny and Matthew Gundrew Gardreau are two current NHL players who died in a car accident. They're also brothers. They died in a car accident this weekend. So prayers to you, your family, losing both of you at the same time. Dr. Pepper Vanilla Float may be a new flavor of Dr. Pepper I did not know about, but someone posted a picture they discovered in their local Walmart. So that sounds kind of interesting to see what that would be like. That's that clown one. What is it? I can't read my handwriting there. Terrifier, that's what it is. Okay, Terrifier 3 trailer debuted this week. I have no desire to see it because I have no desire to watch that type of horror films. But it is a Christmas set horror film, so there we go. I call this episode Pumpkin Spice Dylan Knows. Pumpkin Spice Twinkies are now out. So you'll start seeing pumpkin spice everything starting here in about 17 minutes. Now, some pumpkin spice stuff is already out. You're going to see a whole bunch more here really soon. Ballerina Overdrive cast Uma Thurman in the action film about a ballerina group that is trapped inside a hotel. They have to figure out their way out, fight their way out. It's good to see Uma Thurman getting back into action aspects of that. Filming of Predator Badlands, the sequel to Trachtenberg's Prey Predator film, is said to have started filming already. That a lot of people weren't expecting to hear that, but it was mentioned during an interview that it is currently filming right now, so that could be coming sooner than later. Joel McHale is set to join the cast of Yellow Jackets for season 3. Die Alone trailer has Carrie-Anne Moss and Frank Grillo taking on zombies. Maria, based on the life of Maria Callas, a biopic starring Angelina Jolie, has now gotten a distributor. Will be pulling up on Netflix here soon. Be putting up on Netflix sometime soon. They'll probably release it in theaters first to get it in motion for a Oscar run, but it will be released in theaters and then to Netflix. They've talked about how they've mixed Angelina Jolie's singing voice with the real Maria Callas's voice to sort of create this hybrid voice coming from Maria Callas in the movie. So could be an interesting one to check out. Gwyneth Paltrow is set to join Timothée Chalamet in Marty Surprised or something like that. Marty Surprise, something like that. Godzilla and Transformers collaboration has been announced. Not a movie, TV show, comic book, or anything like that, though that'd be really cool. This is going to start off with toys, where Optimus Prime will be transformed into Godzilla, and Megatron will be transformed into Mechagodzilla, and probably they'll do other ones you can do, like Starscream could be Mothra or something like that. So, could be interesting to see that. Excuse me. Sonic 3 trailer came out. This has really been an interesting run for Sonic, because I remember when the first movie trailer came out. It might have been 2020 for that matter. I think it might have been later or earlier than that. But they decided they were going to try something different with Sonic, and they made him look totally disgusting. And everybody who saw it absolutely despised it and were screaming, change him to make it look like the Sonic we know from the video games. And to give them credit, the film company said, maybe we should listen to them. Maybe we'll make some more money if we did that. So they had to go back And they basically reshot the entire movie, or rather, I should say, they reshot the movie. It was already done, but they redid every single shot of Sonic and put the Sonic that we know and love from the video games in there. And Sonic became a huge hit because of that. If they would have kept the Sonic they had in there, you would not be hearing about Sonic 3, even with Jim Carrey's involvement. And casting Jim Carrey as Robotnik is great because he very rarely does sequels. Did one for Dumb and Dumber, did one for Ace Ventura, but that's really about it. And now he's done 3. In fact, in Sonic 3, he actually portrays 2 roles. He plays Robotnik and Robotnik's dad. So could be interesting to see that. It brings Shadow to the Sonic movie world, voiced by Keanu Reeves. It actually looks like a decent movie. I haven't seen any of the other ones. It also looks like that it could be a little bit more sad because it looks like James Marsden, who is also the lone human who's been in all of them, also might be meeting his maker in this one. So we will see what happens. Star Wars The Acolyte Season 2 has not been The Acolyte has not been renewed due to stupid, toxic fan base. I have a feeling I talked about this last week, but I figured I'd bring it up again about how disappointed I am. The fan outrage has been a little bit crazy, and then you can tell the real toxic assholes are like, well, the reason why they canceled is not because of toxic people, but because nobody's watching the show. Because all you assholes gave it bad reviews and talked about how shitty it was and stuff like that. You never gave a chance for anybody to take a look at it, because a lot of people take criticisms to heart and say, well, they say it's bad, I'm not going to watch it. But if you would have given them a fucking chance, maybe we have season 2, you dumb fucks. But no, you had to prove your point. You had to show your masculine might that you can't fuck with my Star Wars. Wah! So fuck you, you toxic shitbags. The Acolyte was a good show, and it's disappointing that we will not see any more about that. Oasis is reuniting for a concert after 15 years apart. All the jokes are trying to fly now. The tickets are already sold out for all the concert venues. There's a Ticketmaster issue, same with Taylor Swift was. So people are complaining about that. And then people are also betting how long it's going to take Oasis to stay together, how long it's going to take them to break up during this time. So we'll see what happens. But they are returning for a concert coming next year, I believe. Concert tour the Gallagher brothers apparently have made up. And other people are being not pessimistic, what's the word I'm thinking about? Cynical about it. Like, oh, they ran out of their money, so they need to make money quickly. So we'll see what happens. Speaking of music, Linkin Park, who lost their lead singer, I believe, last year or 2 years ago, has had a mysterious countdown appear on their website. And many people believe that a new lead singer has been chosen. And the band will either be announcing a concerts tour or a new album with the new lead singer. So we will see when that comes around. God damn, I can't read my writing. Lioness Season 2 is set to debut October 27th. That's the Zoe Saldana and Nicole Kidman show that Sheridan's a part of also. So debut October 27th. Trailer for Superman, Christopher Reeve documentary debuted this week as well. That'll be making out into movie theaters, I believe, before it hits streaming. Some local news. A 10-foot, 80-pound python was discovered in Pikesville, a Pikesville man's backyard. We're in Reisterstown right here. All right, here's Reisterstown. I'm trying to figure out. All right, that's the front of the house over there. So that way. What's that way? It's like that one, actually. That way. We have Owings Mills. You go down Main Street, turns into Reisterstown Road. You go past Owings Mills. And then once you get through Owings Mills, you cross over the Beltway, and you're in Pikesville. Pikesville is literally about 20 minutes from my house. 10-foot, 80-pound python discovered in the backyard of a Pikesville man's house. I can't believe it came here of its own volition. My belief that it was probably a pet that somebody got tired of and released into the wild. That's my thought, because pythons aren't natural to this area. But the fact that it happened 20 minutes from here, down that way, is startling. The Mexico trilogy is now on Blu-ray. That's Robert Rodriguez's El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico movies. El Mariachi, I don't really think needed a 4K restoration because it's supposed to be an old school, low budget film, and it's pretty decent. Robert Rodriguez shot it for like $8,000, which he made by being a test animal for the most part, test subject for some sort of drug for 30 days. And while he was in this place, he couldn't see anybody. He was by himself, and he had to kill time. So he storyboarded the whole movie of El Mariachi. And then when he got out with his money, he added some other money to it as well and filmed the movie. It was all written up in his his memoir that he wrote years ago, which was one of the first memoirs, I should say, that I read a long time ago. Robert Rodriguez shares my birthday, so we have that sort of similar connection there. Desperado, to me, is one of the absolute best action films ever. One of the best of the 1990s as well. Just the balletic styling, gun shootings, the humor in it, the hot sex between sexy Salma Hayek and Antonio Banderas, who's also fairly attractive man. You also have Steve Buscemi making an appearance in it. Quentin Tarantino has a cameo in it, and pretty much kind of a funny thing to kind of see him. We're like, damn, Quentin, what are you doing? And Machete's in it as well. Can't think of the actor's name right now because I'm awful, terrible person. I'm also old. I can't remember names. He plays a bad guy in it as well. The guy who played the bad guy in Clear and Present Danger is also the Mexican drug lord from Clear and Present Danger is also in Desperado also. Fantastic action film, absolutely stunning. Great, just fantastic gunfights. Excellent fight scenes, great sex scene, a lot of humor. And again, Quentin Tarantino just popping up for about a 5-minute scene where he tells a joke and then gets threatened to get his brains blown out, and then actually gets his brains blown out. Spoiler alert. So, what can I say? But Steve Buscemi's great in it as well. And it is kind of a direct sequel to El Mariachi, except played by a different actor. But the actor who was in El Mariachi makes an appearance as one of Antonio Banderas' buddies, who's got the crotch gun, which is hilarious. You get to see the crotch gun, you get to see the suitcase gun, the briefcase gun. So some pretty cool stuff that's in there, and just an amazing action sequences. Once Upon a Time in America was disappointing only because they decided to, instead of continuing the story really of Antonio Banderas and Salma Hayek's characters, even though they do kind of, it's more focused on Johnny Depp's character, who is sort of a dirty government worker trying to go straight, something like that. It's not a great movie. Saw it once, and I really don't have the feel that I have. I could watch Desperado over and over and over again. El Mariachi's good once or twice. Once again, not a great one because it is a low budget film, but it's a lot of fun. Desperado is just outstanding. So it's all now on Blu-ray, and I wish they would release it individually because I would love to get a Blu-ray of just Desperado. So maybe they will. Did I mark it? I guess I did. 16th century compass was unearthed in Prussia, maybe? I don't think Prussia exists anymore. Some P country. And may have belonged to Copernicus. I don't know how they got that out. Maybe because it's located in an area that Copernicus is known to have visited, but I couldn't tell you how they came to that determination. plus the remains of a 2,000-year-old banana farm were found in Australia also. Continuing with our archaeological, like historical sort of stuff, a 4-year-old accidentally shatters a Bronze Age jar in a museum. God, just think if you were that kid's mother. Yes, it was an accident, but goddamn, a Bronze Age jar, probably worth priceless, now shattered because some kid hit it accidentally. That's why you have it behind glass. That's why you have ropes around it. That's why you have security guards in there saying, don't touch. I don't know the exact, they call it accidental. I don't know what exactly happened. But you also got to look and say, if you do not have it in a glass case, because if a little kid just bumps into it, and it's in a glass case, it isn't going to fall and break. The glass case is solid in there. It'll just bonk, and that's about it. If it's just sitting out there by itself, surrounded by velvet ropes or whatever, it's asking to get knocked over and shattered. So I don't know the exact scenario, but a 4-year-old did shatter a giant jar. Unless maybe that's what it is. Maybe it was a giant jar, and they couldn't put it behind glass because it's so big, but then you'd figure that it's so freaking big that a 4-year-old who just accidentally runs into it would not be able to knock it over. Because you figured if it was a giant jar that it would be much heavier. So I don't know, but still, that's just, damn. And just, as I said, just consider if you were that kid's mother. God damn. I don't even know how it's going to work. I mean, do they have to pay for what? What do they do? Don't know. God, I really was shitty today. Okay, I got it now. Ernest P. Worrell is getting the graphic novel treatment. You know, Jim Varney's famous character. Jim Varney passed away a long time ago. Well, his character is now going to live on in a graphic novel. That's kind of interesting, I guess. In a deleted scene released by Ryan Reynolds from Deadpool Wolverine, we discover that Gambit, played by Channing Tatum, actually survived and got out of the void as well as the other characters did to go to another world to sort of set up a Gambit sort of movie. Was not shown in the movie, but it was released by Ryan Reynolds as just a, hey, here's a deleted scene we took out. Pretty cool. Nobody 2 has started filming this week. It's great to have an old person John Wick movie coming out here soon. That's football stuff. I'll get that there. Rare endangered lynx was spotted in Vermont for the first time since 2018. It's good to see that. Hershey's has a new chocolate bar. It's the Crunchy Waffle Cone Pieces candy bar, now available somewhere. Might not be available in your area yet, but it should be coming out here soon. It's available in other parts of the country. Probably if you go to Hershey Park, if you go to the Chocolate World, they'll probably have them there too. The Running Man remake with Glenn. He's my new man crush. God, I can't think here. Glenn Powell. Yep. With Glenn Powell is set to start filming in November with Edgar Wright directing. So I talked about this a little bit. So he worked with Sydney Sweeney and Anybody But You, a great romantic comedy where they had great chemistry. And Edgar Wright was supposed to direct Sydney Sweeney's remake of Barbarella, which is an outstanding idea, and I would love to see it. But he ended up signing on to this Running Man remake with Glenn Powell. Then there's rumors that they were going to add her as like the female lead, love interest, whatever you want to call it, in Running Man, but we haven't heard anything since then. Then we heard rumors that she was going to be playing Black Cat in the new Spider-Man movie. So I started thinking about that a little bit. It's like, well, if she could end up playing Black Cat in the Spider-Man movie, if Black Cat's going to be in the movie, Sydney Sweeney would be perfect for the role, and she could film it during the time that Edgar Wright is doing Running Man, because he's going to be working on that for at least 6 months. He's got to film it, then he's got to edit it, and do all the other stuff it does in post-production. And then if they're going to do Barbarella together, that'll give them plenty of time to film what they need to and get done the thing and move on to the next project. But you got to think, though, is that would Edgar Wright really do 2 remakes back to back? So I think Edgar Wright directing Barbarella is a no-go. I think City needs to find somebody else to direct it. Hopefully she will. Excuse me. It is now officially September 1st. Yay. Meteorological fall, 12:02 a.m. here on the East Coast. So what, England's about, 5 or 6 hours different? So Hogwarts Express drops off at 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Between 5 and 6 a.m. our time, the Hogwarts Express is going to pick up all new students going to Hogwarts at platform 9 3/4. So that's today. So I know you're all excited, but get some sleep. You got a long trail ahead of you, but should be a good year. So fantastic. I'll see you up there during homecoming, so that'll be fun. Yes, I went to Hogwarts. Most people know that, but that's besides the point. Where am I here? Football, more football. As I said, football coming up fast and furious. Jason and Travis Kelce, who have one of the more popular podcasts even before Travis started dating Taylor Swift, they have just signed a deal with Amazon for $100 million and a podcast deal with Amazon. So I don't know if Amazon's going to be the ones that produce it or they're going to distribute it, whatever, but they have signed this big contract, so they are making the money from their podcast. So congratulations to them. The Washington Commanders have officially sold. They have a new ownership group. They have sold. Well, FedEx said they weren't going to re-up on the naming rights for the stadium, so it's no longer FedEx Field. Northwest Credit Union bought the naming rights for it, and now Commander Stadium is now Northwest Stadium. If you think about it, they're technically kind of northwest from DC, actually, so kind of makes sense, right? Anniversaries, Grease 2 debuted 1982. Chapter 2, Season 4 of Fortnite, the Nexus War, which was the first Marvel season. We are presently involved in the second Marvel season, debuted 4 years ago. Was it 4 years ago? Yeah, it would have been 4 years ago, 2020. So I started playing in 2020. Yep, so 4 years ago. Deaths, Leonard Reagan's, a former chairman of Barnes & Noble, died. And a little bit more personal, one of my former co-workers at Diamond Comics, Ann McMillan, passed away this week. Found that out from another one of my co-workers, former co-workers, Cheryl. I forget her last name, but Cheryl, I'm not going to say her old name. Anne was a receptionist at the front. She was one of the sweetest, nicest, most lively people ever. I knew her 20 some years ago. So it's been a while since I've seen her, but I still follow her on Facebook and was sad to see that she had passed away. On to our final page here for this week. And I already got my last story already set. I think I talked about this last week, but to say it again, Ted Lasso is set to get a season 4. I am been dying to get the 3-season disc set from Amazon. It's $72. And I really can't afford that right this second because I've been seeing all these reels from it. And I really, really want to watch the show. I missed out on it because I didn't have Apple TV, I guess, is where it was from, so I never watched it. And at first, I kind of thought it was stupid because it won all these awards, and it didn't seem like it was very interesting. But I started watching these reels, so I was like, wow, this is a really cool show. And I really kind of want to see it. So, okay, this is together here. Asa Butterfield, Christopher Eccleston, Siobhan Finneran, and Fofi are set to join the cast of the new Netflix show Out of the Dust. 12-year-old girl gets eagle. I don't know how it's even possible. because you have to rank up through the different ranks of scouts. And one of those rankings, you have to be a scout for like a year, an actual scout, and she's 12 years old. So I don't know if she could actually do that. So I'm not 100% certain how that fully works. Well, this is the section of first looks. First look at Laura Dern and Liam Hemsworth in Lonely Planet, set to debut on October 11th on Netflix. It reminds me a lot of the most recent Anne Hathaway film about a an older woman. Jesus. An older woman who hooks up with a younger man. I can finish the rest of this on my knees. I just fell. My chair broke. Man, am I that fat? Jesus, it's like the second one I've broken. I need to find another one. Anyway, it reminds me of that. It's just that a older lady meets up with a younger man and they have a sexy relationship thing. So there's that one. With the new Beetlejuice movie coming out, the campaign to push the marketing for it is out there, and Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice did a parody of the Hot Ones show where people eat hot wings with different levels of hot sauce. It's actually a very funny bit. DC Comics collects John Ostrander's classic Suicide Squad series in omnibus format. It's a great series. It was one of the first ones I picked up when I joined DC. I actually did not join DC until after Crisis was done. I was not a big DC fan. I was always a big Marvel fan before then, and then I became a DC fan. So, hey, whoever's watching, you got to see me break a chair. Nice. So glad that's coming out. Starfleet Academy has begun filming their new season, or their new show, I should say. So that's pretty good about that. The first look at the new Wolfman movie that I think Ryan Gosling or Jake Gyllenhaal is supposed to be in, but they turned down, so some unknown is doing it. They say it looks pretty good. First look at Everybody Hates Chris animated series, set to debut on Comedy Central September 25th. The first look at Shimon Gisanji playing Jimmy Olsen. It looks pretty good, pretty decent actually. First look at We Bury the Dead, Daisy Ridley's new zombie thriller where she plays a zombie hunter. Mamma Mia 3 is in production right now, or will be getting in production soon. Krispy Kreme has a Dr. Pepper flavored donut collection now available just in time for the football season. Emilia Clarke is set to join Ponies, a Cold War conspiracy thriller going to be done by Peacock. I have no idea what this says, so I'm not even going to look at it because I'm still off right now. Kate Winslet is set to join Ed Solomon's The Spot. She's also going to be executive producing it. A hit-and-run drama for Hulu and A24. The story that I read behind is that Kate Winslet supposedly is a woman who killed a couple of children in a hit-and-run and was never caught. And her husband discovers that she might have been the killer or been the one that did this, so does investigation and uncovers some stuff he probably shouldn't have. Excuse me, I do have that chair I can take from there. Okay. First show for Amelia Perez debuted. I didn't see it, so I guess it's okay. The Deliverance trailer for a movie that came out on Friday for Netflix is about Demon Possession, came out, and then the movie came out, so check it out. If you like Demon Possession. The Galar starters and Dynamax are coming in the new season of Pogo, which starts September 3rd. Pokemon Go is going to be changing some stuff up, so it could be pretty interesting to see that the next couple of weeks. Matthew Fox from Lost and Party of Five is set to join Michelle Pfeiffer and the new Yellowstone spinoff, The Madison. Fire destroys the historic ballpark that was part of the filming of A League of Their Own. We talked about that. Mountain Dew Midnight Mission is being renamed Citrus Blackberry and is set to be a raspberry blackberry flavor due out in November, so that could be pretty good. Got deaths and anniversaries, and then we're going to do the last story of the week. Chapter 4, Season 4 of Fortnite debuted a year ago this week. Natural Born Killers is 30 years old this week. Pearl Jam's released 10, their first album in 1991, which set off the grunge movement. So 91, that was 33 years ago. The Witches debuted in 1990, the great Nicholas Roeg, Angelica Houston movie based on the Roald Dahl book. Robert Zemeckis, Anne Hathaway, and Stanley Tucci did a remake of it, which is actually pretty decent also. Chronic Town, REM's first LP that wasn't one of their big ones, was just small, had like 6 songs on it, debuted in 1982, 42 years ago this week. I talked about how great I love Desperado. Desperado actually debuted 29 years ago this week. I saw it at a midnight showing a month or so later. Teen Wolf, one of my favorite early Michael J. Fox movies, came out the same year as Back to the Future, 39 years ago this week. Some deaths. Don Wirt, a former Major League Baseball player, died at the age of 86. Joe D'Alessandris, the Ravens offensive line coach, he passed away at the age of 70. The Ravens have dedicated their season to Joe and Jacoby Jones, who passed away earlier this year. Sven Goran Eriksson, a soccer coach, passed away this week as well. And Sid UD, also known as Sid, Psycho Sid, and something other, died. He was a wrestler, famous wrestler. He passed away this week as well. Oh, man. Last story this week, a massive raid on a Pokemon store uncovers $1.3 million in narcotics. Not Pokemon cards, so pretty interesting. All right, that is it for me. Summer is in the books. We are now officially in the best quarter of the year. Episode 570 is coming next week. Next week will be the Reisterstown Festival. So we'll talk a little bit about that, the parade, Reisterstown Festival. It's also first games of football also be this week. And the new season of Pogo will be out, is out this week as well. New season of Pogo, Pokemon Go. So we'll talk all about that and then whatever else pops up this week. Sorry, I'm out of breath right now because I guess that really was bad. I gotta go because I feel bad. I'm having trouble breathing, and I just fell and hurt myself pretty badly. So not badly, but no, it hurt. So I gotta clean this mess up, and it's after midnight. I got my clothes in the dryer. But have a great Labor Day weekend, and hopefully we'll have another chair here this week or next week. I'll try to do some list shows, but we'll see how that works because I broke another chair and maybe I need to lose weight probably. But yeah, so that's about it for me. Have a great, enjoyable rest of your Labor Day. Go teams. And that's it. Take care. Thanks for watching. The one guy or gal has been watching the whole time. Thanks for watching. And you got to see something nobody else got to see me in live. Fall and break my chair here. You got to see that live. So pretty cool, huh? Something you never thought you'd see on Dylan Knows. All right. See you later. Enjoy it. It is September 1st. It is meteorological fall officially. And officially get your stuff ready. We're going to Hogwarts. The train to Hogwarts is rolling here at 11 a.m. So get your way over there any way you can. And we'll see you. We'll see you at Hogwarts. And see you next week for those who are not the lucky wizards.